Hey, what's up, guys, and welcome back to another Real Madrid preview. This is the preview to Manchester City against Real Madrid in the Champions League playoffs. No, it's not the round of 16, it's not the quarterfinals, it's not the semi-finals, it's not the finals, it is the playoffs. How these two teams have ended up here, no idea. How these two teams are facing off here, even more, no idea. Because honestly, I just think that for the majority of the teams in the competition, it will be great that one of these two teams get knocked out. Specifically Real Madrid, because I think that although both teams this season have been a little bit shaky, and in terms of Manchester City's case, they've been a lot worse than Real Madrid, to be honest. But like I said, yeah, Real Madrid have still showed a lot of glimpses of good football, and it is slowly starting to gel. The attack is the defense that I think is letting this team down. But we're still coping. Man City have been going on that down spiral. They've made signings in January, and we haven't seen them progress. People would have thought, look, this is a team that is missing Rodri, the team that's low on confidence, low morale. Maybe they've been figured out in terms of their tactics, but Pep Guardiola is one of the best tactical coaches in the world, probably the best on his day when you compare him to whoever else is a coach right now in today's world. But the injection of new players into their team haven't given them that boost that you would have thought would kickstart their season. So they are a team that I think everyone would probably want to stay in this competition, because pretty much 90% of the teams in the Champions League remaining are capable of beating Man City compared to Real Madrid. But look, this is still a big game. I know that these two teams are wounded animals. I know that these two teams haven't been at their peak. But it's still Man City and it's still Real Madrid. And it is still a very, very big game. This is the fourth time. Is it the fourth season in a row? It is. I think it's the fifth time in 6 years these two teams have met in the Champions League. And just a very, very big game, a big occasion, and a game full of stars still. Erling Haaland, Kevin De Bruyne, against the likes of Mbappe, Vinicius, Bellingham. Haaland versus Mbappe. The storyline to this is just, huge. And I think that this will be a very, very big game. And I'm really, really looking forward to this. And I don't want to sound overconfident or arrogant, but if there's ever going to be a season where Real Madrid can actually exert the dominance on Man City in terms of, I'm not saying Carlo Ancelotti is washed. I'm not saying that he doesn't win things or isn't successful. But if you have watched recent years, and although the recent years of Champions League games have been epic comebacks, most of the games against your PSG, Man City, Chelsea, Liverpool, even Dortmund, Bayern, these teams have dominated Real Madrid for majority of the game and have just not been able to cross that line. This could be very well the first time in a long, long time Real Madrid could dominate a top team like Man City. Now, they might have fallen off, but they are still a very good team. If you put Man City in La Liga, they would be top 4, top 3, really. They will be competing for the La Liga title. And I think that this is a great chance to exert dominance. But how do you do that with a broken defense? How do you do that with Lucas Vazquez at right back? No offense, but I think if it's Doku, if it's Mamouche, they will cook. They will cook. How do you do that with Aurélien Tchouaméni at centre back? Haaland against Tchouaméni is a mismatch. You know, Tchouaméni might be tall, but he is not Rudiger. So we can only pray that Rudiger can make it back for next week's game, which is unlikely. But at least we've got Raul Asensio, who should start, and I think will start. If you don't start Raul Asensio, I have no idea what you're doing, honestly. So these will be probably the back line, to be honest. But a bit of a mismatch. But obviously Man City have their own issues as well. They do have a right back, I think, so it probably will be Matheus Nunes. Even if they can get Ruben Diaz, John Stones, Ake, Gvardiol, the whole lot fit, they would still probably be playing Akanji at right back, or Kusanov, or Matheus Nunes. And those 3 players are good players, but they're not good right backs. So, because they aren't right backs. So, I think Vinicius Jr. should be looking and going, my game is going to be built around attacking these players, because in previous years you had prime Kyle Walker to deal with, and for Mbappe, look, he's not the most physical, but he can cause riots as well. He can cause problems, and then obviously there's Rodrigo, there's Bellingham making runs into the box, as well. So there is a vulnerability as well for Man City. Obviously, no Rodri. He's in that squad, but there's physically no way he starts this game. He's only been out for about 4 to 5 months. An ACL injury is usually 9 to 12 months. Sometimes it's up to 15 months. Sometimes it can be as quick as 7 months. But never has it been 5 months. It's never been done before. And if they do it, he will probably get a relapse pretty much at the start of the game. You know, so I can't see Rodri starting. I think he's in their squad just in case they make it to the final, which is unlikely. But just in case in 4 months' time they make it to the final, it would be 8 to 9 months by then. He could probably start by then, but I don't think this is the time for Rodri. So there is a bit of a boost in terms of Rodri not going to be back. But even if he was back, he wouldn't make it through 10 minutes. So yeah, there's that. But let's look at Manchester City. In terms of their recent games at home. I will only cover the home games. Their last home game was against Club Brugge, which they won. Before they beat Chelsea, they beat Salford 8-0. They beat West Ham. They drew Everton. I won't go too far back. But away from home, they've lost to PSG. They've lost to Arsenal. They got humiliated by Arsenal, to be fair. And they had to scrape through against Leyton Orient. Yeah. So, you get what I'm saying. You know, this team, they are still winning every now and then. They are still winning these games like they should be. But you don't get the Man City vibe. You don't get that they are going to win 5-0 sort of vibe. So, this is a team that you can get it. Obviously, they've got Haaland, they've got Mamouche, Kusanov, their new signing, Kevin De Bruyne, Foden, Savinho, Doku, Ederson, Gvardiol, Ake, Bernardo Silva, Ruben Diaz, John Stones, Kovacic, obviously ex-Real Madrid, Akanji, they've got their new signing Nico Gonzalez as well, Vitor Reis as well. So their squad is good, but they're lacking a proper defensive midfielder, and they're lacking a proper right back. And that's depending if the likes of Ruben Diaz, Nathan Ake comes back. I think Nathan Ake is pretty much set to come back. But Diaz is currently out. Could come back for this game. Ake had a knock, but I think he can come back. Doku could come back, and then obviously Edison as well has a knock, but he might be back. And the only player who's not going to be back is Rodri. And obviously for Real Madrid, Alaba, Rudiger, Militao, Carvajal, all defensive players, all out as well. So look, this, like I said, is a team that you can get at. This is a team that you can actually have 20 shots at, but it's whether you are clinical. Real Madrid have had 50 shots in the last 2 La Liga games and have scored 1 goal. That is not good enough. So, but then again, Real Madrid did play against a defensive Atletico team and Espanyol, who are playing defensive football as well. So I don't think Man City will play defensive. I don't think they'll play 10 men in the box sort of football. I think they will be open, they will go for it, they will get at us, and I think the counter attack will be there. We have seen teams do it before against Man City this season, exploiting this team on the counter as well. So it's not just the pressing. I think the pressing will be really, really important. I think if you look at Arsenal, they pressed Man City to make mistakes, and they got a couple of goals from those mistakes. So pressing isn't really Real Madrid style, but we will need to do that, especially early on in this game. But counter-attack will be the key focus, as always. And you can get at Man City on the counter. So, what would be my starting 11? I have gone Courtois, no doubt. Fran Garcia has been playing well, so screw it. I don't want to see Ferland Mendy start, because by playing Ferland Mendy, you're sending a message. We are going to be precautious. Why are we being precautious against a team that we can get at? It will be Tchouaméni and Asensio because there is no other option. And it will be Lucas Vazquez because there's no other options. I think in the midfield, Camavinga comes in for Ceballos. I think that with all credits to Dani Ceballos, I think Camavinga provides a little more defensive stability and I think Ceballos can make those passes. I think Ceballos can carry the ball from defense and bring it forward better. But I think Camavinga gets the ball, makes a long pass forward, and sort of just gets the counter going, really. But it's a 50-50, really. It also depends on whether Camavinga is fit and ready. If not, Dani Ceballos is totally fine. Fede Valverde and Jude Bellingham with Vinicius, Mbappe, and Rodrigo. Yeah, that is the team. There will be some good bench options. I think Brahim coming on will be a pretty useful player to come on. Dani Ceballos, if you're losing the midfield battle, Camavinga can come off, Dani Ceballos can come on. So, score predictions. Look, I'm tempted to say like a 1-1 or 2-2 if Carlo Ancelotti decides that this team, after going 1 or 2-0 up, should play defensive football. Because the moment you switch off, when you're on good form, you concede. But I'm going to go Manchester City 1, Real Madrid 2. That's optimistic. But like I said, I think we can get at this wounded team. And who knows, right? But let me know what thoughts are down below. Hope you guys have enjoyed today's video. Hit the like button if you did. subscribe to the channel on already, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.